Who's ever stood in front of a class and had students who are obviously not listening to you? Or have you experienced a situation where you thought the class were listening because they were all quiet and looking at you, only to have 1, 2, 3, 5 students come up and say, "What are we meant to be doing, miss?" Most teachers have experienced the frustration of students not listening to them. This is part of a series on how to deal with those low-level student behaviours, the behaviours that can drive you crazy and you wonder why. Research knows that it is these low-level behaviours that make life hard for teachers because they can be persistent, frustrating, ongoing, and you feel like you don't know what to do about it. In this video, you will learn effective strategies to improve student listening and learning and reduce the number of times that you need to repeat yourself. It will also reduce your level of frustration and annoyance and increase your sense of satisfaction and achievement as a teacher. I'm Maria Amaro. I'm a teacher, presenter and author, and I've been working with students and teachers for over 30 years. I'm passionate about helping teachers improve teaching and learning practices. I combine research and experience to provide strategies that improve student learning by improving classroom management. I focus on the practices that take little or no extra teacher time, strategies that can actually give you back time by learning to work more effectively. I love coaching teachers, and I emphasise teacher wellbeing because improved teacher wellbeing means improved student wellbeing, and that contributes to better academic and social outcomes for all our students. If you'd like to learn more, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell. We put out 2 videos every week. When you subscribe, that helps to support the channel and means we can keep making videos. And if you know anyone who you think would benefit from these videos, please share them with colleagues, friends and family. Everyone knows a teacher or someone who works in a school. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, please let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. There's no learning when nobody's listening. Nadine Dolby's 2012 article discusses the lost art of listening in a digital age and the impact that this has on student learning. We often take it for granted that our students know how to listen, but as her exercise with undergraduate student teachers demonstrated, this is not necessarily the case. Teachers know how important listening is at school, both in learning and as a vital social tool. But apart from the work done in early primary years, very little is done in school to actually teach this skill. Here are 7 teaching strategies that can increase your students' listening skills and consequently their learning. Number 1, focus on teaching the skill of listening. Yes, those acronyms do help. Break the listening skill into identifiable components for students and then practice, role play, make posters and dramatise scenarios. Use positive reinforcement to support students in this and reward students for using the skill appropriately. Number 2, model good listening for your students. So often as teachers, we're thinking about our response to a student rather than really listening to them. Use the counselling skill of rephrasing or restating what students say to enhance your own listening. Ask students to restate yours or other people's points of view, and insist on one person speaking at a time, either in whole class discussions or in paired and group work. Demonstrate the skill to the class by drawing their attention to your listening with younger grades, having older grades deconstruct what effective listening looks like, sounds like and feels like. Number 3, get to know your students. Find out about their hobbies, interests, music, sport, families. Kids will listen more to teachers when they feel they're interested in them and know them. In high school, where you may teach up to 150 students, use memory tricks, refer to school photos or take notes so that you can use the knowledge in your conversations with them. If you're interested in more ways to build relationships with students, check out our videos on why it's important and how you can build those relationships. Number 4, reflective listening. Use reflective listening to diffuse tricky situations. Saying to a student, "Joey, I can see you're upset, disappointed, frustrated, sad," validates a student's feelings. provides the language to describe the feelings and can help to reduce the intensity of the feelings, allowing the student to move forward. Listening to students can give you insight into their state of mind and what's going on for them in their lives. Number 5, give students a voice about the issues that impact them. That is, their learning, their assessment, their classroom, their school values. Students need to feel heard and understood, and then they will more readily accept the status quo if they feel they've been heard. Number 6, get everyone's voice in the room. Give students an opportunity to speak at the beginning of class by having a check-in. And you could use this as an orientation to the lesson. For example, in maths, everyone thinks of the highest number that they've seen today, or as an emotional check-in. For example, use a colour to describe how you're feeling. This can give you some information about who you might need to check in privately with during the class. Number 7, talk less. As a general rule, kids can effectively listen for about half their age in minutes. So for a child of 10, that's about 5 minutes. For a 15-year-old, it's about 7.5 minutes. And teachers, as John Hattie's research shows, talk for about 80% of the day. We need to listen more. Mix up the activities in the classroom so that students are talking, writing, moving, and listening in a variety of ways. And if you're interested in learning some more ways to engage students without taking up much extra teacher time, check out our videos on easy ways to engage your students. Number 8, use cold calling. Have you ever noticed that it's usually the same 4 or 5 students who put their hand up or answer questions? Introduce the strategy of cold calling, which means no hands up, where any student may be expected to answer a question or explain a concept to the class. Dylan William has a simple strategy of writing students' names on paddle pop sticks and then randomly drawing out the name of the lucky person who gets to answer. And if you'd prefer a more high-tech system, you can find a list of randomizer apps on Google. Using this strategy means that you have to make sure that your classroom is a positive and safe environment for kids to have a go. Develop a culture of risk-taking in your class by encouraging thinking rather than expecting the correct answer. And if you'd like some more ways to build positive classroom culture so that this is possible, check out our videos on why a positive classroom culture is important and some simple ways that you can develop that. Number 9, listen and learn from students about their behaviour. Ask yourself this question: what is the student's behaviour trying to communicate? Listening to what students think and feel about the tasks they are asked to complete and the way that they're being taught can give you clues as to your effectiveness as a teacher and how you could change things to more effectively support student learning. John Hattie cites feedback to teachers as being one of the highest effects on student achievement. Asking students for feedback about how you teach may be confronting, but can give you some really valuable information. Number 10, listen to parents. Parents are the child's first educators, and you can glean valuable knowledge from them. Use parent-teacher interviews as fact-finding missions, and be prepared with questions as well as comments. One of the biggest challenges we can face as teachers may be listening to parents with whom we don't see eye to eye. But seeing the student from their perspective may help you in dealing with your relationship with the student. And finally, check out our videos on our other videos on how to deal with low-level student disruptive behaviour so that you can create a safe, predictable, consistent environment for all your students. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and happy teaching.